There's something laying on the mattress. It's a newspaper article. Dated October 24th, 2004. The article's title, One-Hit Wonder Ruby Commits Suicide. That can't be. That was over 10 years ago. Her real name was withheld from the press, but her picture is there. According to the article, Higashi went to her room and found it locked. He called to her. She didn't answer. I thought she must have been tired, he said. She'd been working hard on a new song. He only forced the door when he noticed the smell, where he found her hanging from the rafters. She'd hung herself almost 2 days before. Probably in this room. There's more. Though Mr. and Mr. Higashi had adopted her years before, Ruby was not made to work and loved being an idol more than anything in the world. Her song, Look For Me, will go on sale again this month, with all sales going to various suicide prevention charities. I've read enough. The sadness that's in this room is the same awful feeling I felt in the sewers. Is it Reina's? Is this what I was supposed to see? And I guess she came back and killed him, maybe? Nothing from this door. Alright, we're just gonna leave now. Nobody's gonna stop us. Oh, thank God we're out of there. That was awful. I feel sick. That monster. How many girls did Higashi pass around and abuse before she murdered him? And Reina. She looked the same as she does now. 16 years old, a child. Higashi had her locked up and she tried to take back control the only way she thought she could. Only, she came back. And all that pain and suffering came back with her. When I was in that room, I could feel like it was my own. And it's not the first time I felt it. The dark was steeped in it. As soon as I realized it, it was like the air changed. I can sense a pulse now, like a heartbeat following me, but it's not enough. The mask could help me find the door, and I could feel the dark, but the path still isn't open to me. What am I missing? My gut tells me it has to do with the common Kai, and the only one alive who knows about it is the old Kawana woman. She has to tell me what happened. Okay. Keep waiting for the police to come stop me at some point. Surely somebody knows, you know? Oh yeah, I wonder if he wants... No, I guess he doesn't want to talk to us. Mosh mosh. You? I forgot what the voice was, and I'm not even going to try it because I remember hurting my voice. I told you to stay away from my family. Don't drag my grandchildren into this any more than you already have. Stay back. I have questions about the Common Kai, the group your daughter and son-in-law were part of. You're the only one alive who'd remember. Common Kai? I don't know anything about it. Leave me. Grandma, enough. Listen to yourself. Do you even realize you're lying anymore? Takashi told us everything. And you, Ito, just because this investigation's important to you doesn't give you the right to barge in here. Your grandma and I need to talk. If it upsets you, maybe you should go. No, I'm not going anywhere. This is the house I grew up in. It's as much as mine as it is Grandma's. If you have something to say, you can say it in front of me. Only a little while ago, I found out my parents died in some cult, and no one even knows why. You think hearing that was easy for me? I want to help you, Ito, but all the deceit and lies are starting to hurt people. What I'm chasing is so much worse. Tell that to the poor man in the station. He's in the hospital now, terrified out of his wits. People aren't only here to be used for information and then thrown away while you move on. They have lives too. And bringing up the past can hurt. Surely you of all people understand that. I do. But ignoring the past won't make it go away. And there's unfinished business from the Common Kai that needs to be taken care of. But what's left to talk about? Everyone's dead, right? I promise to talk to you all about this later. For now, let me and the detective talk. Go on, you were cooking us dinner, weren't you? Alright, we'll talk about it later, but I'll be in the other room if you need me. So you found out. Now that mine knows, I suppose there's no point in keeping it a secret any longer. The truth is, my daughter would never have joined the Common Kai if it weren't for me. I convinced her and her husband to join. I was already a member. At the time I joined, my husband had left me and I'd lost my job, suddenly leaving me a single, unemployed mother who could barely support my daughter. That's when Tokimas found me and told me that the society that stigmatized and shunned me was a fiction, a great machine to be fought, and that my very soul was at stake. Of course, he used me as he did everyone else. I desperately wanted to hear that my struggles weren't my fault. They stole everything from me. My youth, my mind, and then my child. And then one day in 1996, they all died. The cause of death was buried and no autopsies were performed. Or if they were hidden. Why? That's simple. The government didn't care about some dead cultist in the woods and covered it up so the papers wouldn't sensationalize their deaths. That's it? After everything I found, you expect me to believe that? 12 people died that day and no one knows why. What happened? Tell me the truth. You want to know what happened so badly? Fine, I'll tell you. They died for nothing, following in the footsteps of a madman who believed that life was an illusion. As words of other compounds and other groups being raided spread, Tokimas began warning us that the end was near. He believed the world was collapsing, and it was time for him and his followers to abandon the flesh and find purity among the gods. My Emiko, she didn't die from some conspiracy. She chose death because she no longer had an anchor to reality, and it was my fault. Beyond that, I don't know what happened to them. No, you do know something. In the report it says after the officers cleared the bodies, they found the mask. The same one you handed to me 6 months ago. That's... Tokimas would always keep it to himself, saying it granted him sight into the realm of the kami. I needed it. You don't understand. It allowed us to see strange things and people who are gone. The guru was a fool, a fake. But the mask? The mask was real. There was a rumor that the cult members were killed by one of their own. Surely you didn't. No, you don't understand. I would never kill my own child. I didn't take the mask, it was given to me. One day a man, some journalist or another, showed up at my door carrying the mask. I couldn't believe it. I begged him for it. He stood there smiling at me. His eyes were like none I'd ever seen. It was strange. All he wanted in exchange for the mask was a picture of Emiko. That's the collector. Who for some reason wants memories, important memories that people think aren't, it's like, oh sure, why wouldn't I trade a picture of so-and-so? But it always seems to be like it's not just like the only picture or the only so-and-so, it's the one. And it's unreproducible, and then everyone seems to regret it afterwards. When I joined the cult, I was forced to give up my possessions, and only had one left, but I gave it to him nevertheless. I thought if I had the mask that I could find her, that maybe she would forgive me. As soon as I had it in my hands, my mind opened. I could hear her voice. So you went into the sewers chasing after her, thinking you could save her. Takashi told you that as well, did he? Yes, it's true. Emiko was crying out to me, begging me to find her and free her from a dark place. I would have given anything to hold her in my arms again and plead her forgiveness. I don't care if you don't forgive me, or believe me even. Just like Tanaka was calling out to me. Or like Tanaka was calling out to me, that's not old person. I do believe you. We're probably some of the few people left alive who know what this mask is capable of. If you really thought it'd help you find her, then why'd you give it to me? Because I was wrong. At first, I only followed whispers, and I found myself in a strange labyrinth, chasing after her shade. The days bled together. I lost track of my grandchild, of the shrine. It was an illusion. No matter how hard I tried, I never found her. I only became more and more disconnected from the world around me. I descended into madness. I was being used again, just as Tokimasa had used me so many years before. I tried getting rid of it, throwing it away, burning it. None of it mattered. It always came back. And when I did, the visions and whispers only got worse. So I put it out of my mind, and I tried as best as I could to live a life of solitude, ignore the screams of my daughter. Then you came. And when you did, the mask was screaming out in voices I'd never heard before. I thought it was a sign, so I gave it to you. I didn't even have time to breathe out a sigh of relief before I heard a gunshot ring out. No one else ran to it. I think I was the only one who knew that sound for what it was. I thought the mask was punishing me once again by taking Mai away from me. Instead, it had passed tragedy to another. I'm sorry. Perhaps the knowledge of the mask should die with us. There's one other person who knows about the mask. A girl named Reina. Does that name mean anything to you? No. I don't know anyone by that name. Do you expect me to know everyone who's been touched by the mask? No, but you were involved with a group that worshipped it. Are you sure you're telling me everything? Yes. What good will accusing an old woman do? Unless you're chasing someone too. That must be it. Mai told me you lost someone, your partner in the police. Is that right? If I'm right, then I suggest you stop your search. The place I was shown by the mask was not meant for the living. I barely escaped with my life. Stop while your mind and body remain intact. What if I told you there was another option? What other option? In the months since I first met you, I've had time to examine the ancient text in the shrine. As the mask grew further away, it loosened its grip on my mind. I knew then that it would someday make its way back to me. So I became determined to find a way to protect myself and my grandchildren from its influence. The darkness of the common Kai and its ritual object are but manipulations used to sever our connection with what is truly divine. The mask breeds darkness. Dark forces can invade all manner of living and non-living things, driving them to violence or death. That which is evil cannot be used or tolerated. It must be destroyed. It is the only way to save us from its grip. Destroy the mask? I thought you just said it couldn't be done. Not physically. Grandma, is everything alright? I overheard you talking about that mask again. Yes, dear, but you needn't worry. In fact, it's good you're here as this talk involves you. Mai, you've trained in exorcism and purification rituals for quite some time, haven't you? Such a ritual could purify the mask and turn it into a mere piece of wood. Given we gather the right materials, of course. I can tell from the look in your eyes that you think me to be senile, but I'm quite serious. Even modern rituals have ancient roots, and with enough conviction they are still capable of great power. Before, I was content to die as long as the mask didn't hurt my children, as I was far too feeble to do what was necessary myself. But now, seeing you here, I see a second chance to do what is right. If you truly know what the mask is, then you must help me destroy it. Slow down. I didn't come here to be involved in a ritual or exorcism or whatever you call it. I only want the truth about the common Kai, which you still haven't given me. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? So be it. I can see there's only one way to change your mind. The only trace of what happened that day would be at the common Kai compound itself. The records of its location are lost and they were never made public, but I know where it is. What's the catch? Go there, search for your truth. See what worshipping the mask has wrought. When you return, you'll help me destroy it. What makes you so confident I'll change my mind? I went back once, years ago, In all honesty, I'm not sure why. Perhaps to remind myself of my sins. What I saw and felt in that place, it was tainted by darkness and death. Those two things are all the mask will afford you. There's something else. I had a feeling you'd say that. The heavy, unnatural air I felt when I returned to the compound. It had the same stench, the same quality of the tunnels where I searched for Emiko. Sounds like a superstition to me. So, what exactly is it you want in exchange for the information? I believe the energies of the mask in that place are linked. I want you to bring something back from there. Anything. It may help in the ritual. Looking for the truth will not bring you peace, detective. Purifying the mask very well might. Remember that. Compound is in the forest of Oigigahara. Oigigahara? Hey, that's the suicide forest. Suicide forest. What a dreadful name. Though I suppose those woods have seen their fair share of tragedy. And death. Ito, you can't just go charging in there. It's dangerous. What if you got lost? GPS doesn't work in there, and I heard even compasses won't point north. Not only that, but, well, a lot of people go there to die. I don't think you should go. You two keep talking about that mask like it's some evil spirit, causing you pain, but I think the pain you're feeling isn't caused by a mask. It's just you. So many nights after the girl died in the shrine, I had nightmares. Every corner I went around, I thought I'd see her there. It wasn't a ritual or a charm that made me better, though. I just stopped listening to the fear. I confronted it. When you took me to see Takashi, that was the first time I'd left Kamakura since April. It's embarrassing to admit it, but I was scared. And yeah, Takashi telling me all that stuff about mom and dad was scary, but it was the truth. I wasn't hiding from some demon I invented myself. Anyway, I know you might not listen to me, but I don't think you should put yourself in danger just so you can keep chasing your demons. Maybe you're right, but some demons have a way of spreading to others. Seeing the Common Kai compound is something I have to do. Well, it's your choice, but Oigigahara is huge. How are you going to find one compound? Mai makes a good point. It's been a long time. Are you sure you remember where it is? Of course I do. I know what you two must think of me, but I'm not senile. It's a hike away from a bus stop on the outskirts of Narusawa. We used to go into town occasionally for supplies. Several miles away from the bus stop, there's a clearing and a path there used time to time by the Forest Service. I'll draw you a map before you leave. It continues for a while sometime, and eventually will be blocked off. Keep going forward and don't turn back or leave the path. The forest can play tricks on you. Supposing the path is still there, it seems pretty incredible to me that the compound would have been left alone all these years. It still stands. After all, why would they bother to go and dismantle it? Go, search for whatever truth you think you'll find. But be careful, detective. Do what must be done, then leave. Staying there is dangerous. I hope that once you enter that place and feel the energy I did, you'll have the sense to see what I never could. You understand, don't you? The mask must be purified. So, of course, really, we're trying to hold on to this whole thing because we really want to find Tanaka. You know, he's obviously dead, but maybe we can somehow get to him? It kind of seems like, though, the only him we'll get to will just be like kind of a demented, you know, evil version. Kind of just the spirit, not really him, you know? So, probably not worth it for Tanaka. So I'm going to give her it depends for right now. Don't be a fool. Finding what happened that day will change nothing. You're being haunted by your past, chasing phantoms as I once did. When you enter those dark places, you leave pieces behind. Purify it. Stop this while you're still whole. I'll begin preparations for the ceremony regardless. See her out. She's never said anything like that to me. You must have really scared her. Listen, I'll help with this ritual because I think it'll help Grandma get better. But don't get yourself killed. I know in your eyes I'm probably just a kid, but I know how much it hurts to want the truth. Takashi obsessed over the past, and I was miserable not knowing. Grandma almost went insane on top of that. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I was thinking Takashi was boyfriend guy. That's not Takashi, that's her brother. Grandma said it herself. You're still young. You should forget all this and start over. And you might not want to hear this, but listening to you two talk about masks and spirits, well, you sounded like that girl at the shrine. It scares me, and it should scare you too. Take care of yourself, Ito. Alright. So I'm going to leave it off here for today. This obviously seems to be a little bit of a lengthy game. Not lengthy, but I'm seeing a lot of reviews of it taking 6 hours or less. But I have a feeling not voice acting all of this, you could probably get through it in twice the speed, you know? So, there's that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. Thanks for watching. I feel like next time we're going to get closer to the end of the story, if not get to the end. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more Tokyo Dark. Bye!